We are live. High Phrase Podcast on StreamYard. So this is like
Yeah,
this is the second time that we're doing this. Um, the first time it was me, Mike, and we had our guest Ryan Phillips on. Have you met Ryan?
no, I saw the show though.
The King of
I saw
Cannabis
the
stuff.
TV show. I saw the TV show, and I've heard the legends. Being from Vancouver, you kind of know,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I
So
saw the
that was a
TV
very
show.
interesting episode, I
Yeah,
gotta say. But
yeah. I haven't
so
listened to your
Mike's kind of
episode with him though.
what's that?
I said I haven't listened to your episode with him though.
It's something else.
Nice. I still have to
Yeah.
check that out.
The dude's been through some shit because high phrase we've Mike's kind of like full grind mode right now, DJ mode, making music and doing parties and stuff. And with high phrase, what I'm doing in the meantime is just having like a rotation of guest hosts to come through, talk shit, talk about stuff that's on their mind, and keep it moving until Mike is back from his sabbatical.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So it seems like you've had a bit of a break too. When's the last time you had a chance to do the no ties?
Oh, it's been a long time actually. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a few months actually.
Damn, are you there? Are you thinking about doing something on your own?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we were talking while we were away. We were away for 5 days, right? So we were talking about what we're gonna be working on and everything moving forward and everything. So yeah, just stay tuned for stuff from No Ties. We're still here. We're just taking our own little sabbatical, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Well, I don't think people understand like how much when you start building like a little bit of a listener base and people start caring about upcoming episodes. If you don't have any kind of a platform and you don't really care to put yourself out there, it's a lot of work, man.
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah, for sure.
especially the kind of podcast that you guys do because you can't be wrong.
No, it's a lot of talking about things that you have to know about.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
me, it's a lot of learning on the fly too. So it's like you better have your protein and carbs that day, man, because you're gonna
Yeah.
use all your brain power. But it's a lot. Like it's a lot to like do to create. And it's a
Mhm.
lot to like, depending on the topic we're talking about, it's a lot to
Yeah.
fucking go through talking about whatever we're talking about, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, so just like it takes energy, it takes a lot of
And
energy.
are people quick to call you out if you guys have any gaffes or slip ups? Are people quick to like jump in the comments and pop off?
No, not really. I don't know. Not on Instagram, anyways. It doesn't seem
Mhm.
like. But I mean, as far as the TikTok goes, it seems like people just kind of swarm that one person who's trolling. Anyways, you don't have to really do anything.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just like swarms on that person.
Well, the thing is, I think what's
There's a
cool
lot of
is
solidarity. A lot of
yeah,
solidarity. I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say that. I think what's cool is like for me, from an outsider perspective, watching you guys' stuff start to pop off and people start to care about what you're doing. There really is that feeling in the comment section. Like if someone's at a line, a gang of people will jump on that person.
Yeah,
That's kind of
totally.
wild.
100%, man. They
Yeah,
will.
because like our podcast is like opinion based. Obviously, we want to make sure we're factual as well. But for the most part, it's opinion based. It's the interview format. We kind of like we talk a lot of shit, and we get into spaces that where fact doesn't really matter because it's more about like what's going on. But um, I've seen you guys do your thing and move forward in a way where I think the support you guys are always gonna have is gonna be that like gang mentality. Like don't fuck with our people.
Yeah, 100%.
Does that make you feel any kind of way when you see stuff like that?
It just makes me feel pretty good because then, like, you just know there's people around all the time, and
Yeah.
some people are listening,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, yeah. Just it's good to know there's a community.
Yeah. And it's
Community.
crazy because you know that they're listening because to be invested in someone, you have to be invested in what they're doing. So it's not like people are just watching the TikToks and be like, "Hey, I want to fuck with what you're doing." They're actually listening to the podcast episodes. And if
Yeah,
you're not
listen to the
Fijian or
actual content,
yeah,
the
yeah,
real
like because if you're not
material.
Fijian, like if you're not a Fijian or Indian, why should people care?
Yeah, Um, oh, you're asking me. Are you
Yeah,
asking me? You're frozen.
I
Oh shit.
was, but I wasn't.
Okay, yeah, no, why should you care?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. You can give a million. I mean, I will tell you why I think you should care. It's because
Yeah.
like being from Fiji, this
Mhm.
diaspora, or like,
Yeah.
it's unique, right? Like we have our own language and like have our own story and shit like that, and our own like culture that's different than just being specifically Indian or specifically Fijian. So, I mean, it kind of dies out with us, right? Like once,
Mhm.
um, you have to think about like where all the ancient Egyptians went. Well, their culture kind of just died out. I get like I don't know, in some sense, like they just stopped doing the shit and stopped speaking the
Mhm.
language and stopped building the fucking things and worshiping the gods, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's important to keep on preserving the true nature of it all, I suppose. Not all that weird hokey shit. There's a lot of
Yeah.
weird hokey shit. I'm talking about the real, like, the story of how our people got, like,
Yes.
to come or came there and, like, that this that and the other thing that's all associated
Mhm.
with it. I don't want to like spoon feed people here and talk too much. They're just gonna have to listen to the show and find out.
No free emotional
Yeah,
labor.
yeah, but yeah, and I mean for me also like it's kind of cool that like uh our heritage is kind of rooted in sailing in, or I guess
Yeah.
like being subjected to getting on a boat, but I don't know, just being like kind of a sailboat person myself, so it's just kind of cool because it's like, oh shit, like, yeah, no wonder,
That's crazy because
no
like
wonder I
that's
like
not
it.
that's not common like amongst the Indo-Fijians that are in Canada. That's not a common thing to be a part of the boating community. So you
No,
can swim then.
yeah, but this so interesting you say that while we were away at Shuswap this weekend with the whole
Mhm.
family.
Yeah.
Like the kids all knew how to swim. My sister knows how to swim. I don't, but I went in the water anyways. But like, one of the older cousins was telling me that like when she said it in Hindi, like Pani can don't go near the water, otherwise you'll drown, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what their parents used to say. So they never learned how to swim because they're discouraged to learn how to swim or whatever. That's what she told me, like how it was for her, right?
That
So
was
it's
for
just
me.
like, yeah, and it's just like, yo, man, don't scare. You're from a fucking island country, man. Don't be scaring your kids off of swimming. Like, encourage them to
And
swim.
these
Right?
are island people. These are people
Yeah,
that live on an island.
yeah. We're supposed to be on a boat or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
like, it's not that like weird. Like when people are like, oh, like you know how to fish, like, but you're like
It
a
makes
brown
complete
person.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, I'm a brown person, but I'm like from Fiji, right? Like we're more like we're different, man. We're more down to earth, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're more
Connected to
like
the
I don't
earth.
know. Our
Yeah.
people, our ancestors, like our most recent ancestors, I guess. Like so, my mom's mom and my dad's dad and my
Yeah.
whatever their parents. I mean, they're homesteaders, really, right?
Big time.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way I explained it to my white friends at work before going away. I was like, man, I'm going away with my family for 5 days, and there's 15 of us, and like there's just not gonna be any like it's just gonna be loud the whole time, da 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 da, and I was just like I was like I was like we're basically the brown equivalent of hillbillies. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
we were to
Wow.
say, like we're just
That's a good
hillbillies.
take.
Like, I was and my white friends are like, oh, I get it. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be like a whole bunch of quote unquote white trash in a like cabin for 5 days getting shit faced, and
Yeah.
I don't know, to some degree but it was just like the Fijian equivalent of that, and like
Yeah.
we're kind of like hillbilly fry things. We fry things. You know what I'm
Live off the
saying?
land and
Yeah.
keep
And
things
like,
real simple.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Simple, right? So, yeah, it's not unnatural that we. I mean, is it really that surprising that? I mean, to me, when I figured it out, I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, it isn't.
Nah, dude,
Well, duh.
my kind of brown guy should be the rare one. I don't know how to do any of that. That should be the one that you look at and be like, "What? You can't? Aren't you from an island?" Yeah,
Oh,
no, but because we've kind of been we've been like you said, man, we've been made into homesteaders, and we literally live that homogenized, sanitized in the home life. Like I can't think of many of my family members that if shit were to hit the fan and it all ends now, and society's fucked and we don't have a food chain. I can't think of 5 people in my immediate family of let's say 40 people that would survive more than a few days.
mm.
Is that crazy?
Yeah, yeah,
It's kind of terrible.
yeah, totally.
How long do you think you'd last?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that you don't think about that you need. Um,
Water.
yeah,
Water.
and I don't know. It's just like I don't know if you ever watch any of like those shows, Homestead Rescue, or like that's a good one right there. People who like go out and like put all their eggs in a basket and get a homestead and are just like, okay, like this is what we do now, and like you know, next thing you know, like their fucking cabin's falling apart and they can't get clean water and like bugs.
Wait. So they just put in
So
like the middle of nowhere?
yeah, you know what a homestead is, right? A
Now that you
homestead.
say it like
So
that,
our
maybe I don't.
ancestors. So homesteading is like when you like acquire a piece of land or whatever, and you just like live off of that piece of land, or like you build your yeah, like that's what our people are like.
And you tend to it, and yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, like about how like it's not so surprising, like that we fish or like brown people would fish or hunt or whatever because we came from that in Fiji. Like our
Right.
ancestors, homesteaders, we like when we first got there, we had to farm, fish, hunt, to be able to feed and make our own clothes. Like I don't know, whenever it happens here, and I'm just like, people are looking at me and they're just like, "Oh, you're brown. You know how to like that." Well, yeah, fuck. I guess I kind of do because we were homesteaders back in the. But shit, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you don't think about. I don't know. I don't know how long I'd last. I see those people who have like so on Homestead Rescue and shit. They have everything, but they're still missing that one key ingredient, and everything around them is going to shit. It's like even I don't know. I would say like maybe 5 or 6 days before I fucking just crap. I quit before I quit, and then it's like what, this is too much. I don't know. You like everything's an effort, man. Do you ever watch Frozen? Or no, sorry, Alone?
Alone?
Yeah.
No.
No, man. Okay. So
Is it a movie or a series?
Uh-huh.
Is it a movie or a series?
No, it's a series of people who like go out in the wilderness and try and survive. Yeah, but they're professionals. They're professional, not just like you or me. They're professionals. Yeah. Like they count calories. They're just like, if I do like this, it's gonna cost me this much energy.
Oh yeah. Fuck
So
that.
and there has to be like a reward because I don't know when I'm gonna eat again, right? Like as a thing, like
Yeah.
you can't
No
just go to the
thanks.
fridge. You can't go to the fridge. You gotta fucking go to the river or whatever and try to. There's no guarantee you're gonna catch something or even find something or whatever. I don't know. I give myself personally 5 days before I just quit. Not even like I run out of food just because I don't want to. I was like, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I hope I
What
never
about
have
you?
to see the day. I hope I
You don't think you
never
could
have
do
to
like Denzel?
encounter.
You don't think
I man, I'm a city boy, man.
can't pull a
I'm
Denzel Washington and you look at Eli and like, oh
okay,
man.
maybe if I had to, like if my kids were on the line and I had to, maybe we could stretch it out. Maybe. Go close to a river, make sure there's water, regular water supply. I think the water is the biggest thing, because once you run out of water, what do they say? 3 days of not having water, you're dead, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
So stay close to a water supply and hope for the best. Eat some grass. Try to see if that shit. Just try and see
Yeah.
whatever stays down, right? As long as you have regular water supply and you can kind of like rid yourself of all the garbage that doesn't work for your body, you might be able to work out a situation where you get maybe 10 days. Maybe
Yeah,
10
maybe
days.
10 days. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
Fair
Because
enough.
you're fighting for my kids that might bring out
Yeah.
some weird ancient DNA that makes me
Yeah,
want to.
good, man. You guys get secret like parental strength, man.
Yeah, that might
I don't
happen.
know. Angry parents are scary, dude. And they're
Yeah, I've seen
protecting
it.
their yeah,
I've seen it kick in. I've seen it kick in.
yeah.
I've had it happen to me a handful of times where I'm like, man, thank God I have good self control, man, because
Yeah,
people could get hurt for stepping out of line when it comes to the kids, and
right.
it's crazy because like me and my baby moms are both Fijian. Both of our parents are from Fiji, and both of our grandparents are from Fiji. So we're like a full line of like generational people from Fiji, and both of our kids are 100% that same line. And all of my cousins and my extended relatives, almost every single one of them, they're all
Yeah,
mixed babies. And
yeah.
the place that we fucked up is we didn't pass the language down to our kids. Like they know little pieces of it.
Um,
Yeah, they know little phrases, little pieces of it. So it kind of really does die once me and my ex die. Because we're like at least in our family line, we're like the
yeah.
last. So unless our kids like make an effort to want to learn the language and like get involved, teach me this, teach me that, and they're okay like that, but because we were never taught the language, I was never taught how to speak the version of Hindi we speak. Were you
Yeah.
taught it?
Not really. I guess, I mean, I don't know.
Like,
Like, it's weird. It's hard to say. It's like it just happened growing up.
yeah,
I never
because
was
like
like
you
taught
can't write
it.
or read it.
I wasn't, yeah, so like I can't write. So like
Mhm.
Hindi, like from India, I can't speak that shit.
The
I
real
can't
Hindi.
speak it
Yeah.
or no, I can't. Like I know the Hindi that I speak in Fiji or that we've spoken in the house from
Yeah.
Fiji, and they tried to teach me the correct shit, but I don't know,
Formal.
it just never struck. Yeah, it just never stuck. I don't know,
Yeah.
not my thing.
And
But like, I don't know, I was never really taught, but I'm certainly forget. Like, and I was very fluent at it and could like speak it and whatever
mhm.
before, but I'm certainly forgetting now, actually.
Yeah.
This weekend was an exercise because I was just like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna try and like speak in yeah Fiji Hindi as much as I can try to, anyways, and learn and try and pick up and be more comfortable with it. It's not even about like I don't want to speak it. It's more like I don't feel comfortable anymore. I
Because
don't know.
it should feel like an extension, right? Like just it should
Yeah,
just come out naturally.
yeah, yeah. So I see homies, a specific homie actually on Instagram. He was in Fiji for like a month or some shit, and just like his dad was like some famous singer. Like,
Ah,
yeah, he plays instruments and sings, etc. So like I don't know, just like he's more into like yeah, I got a podcast and shit, but like guy plays the harmonium and he's like more in tune with sings bhajans and shit, way more in tune with the culture than so I'm striving to be more like that, I guess. So like I don't know. I used to be good. I did this. I was okay. Then I sucked, and I still suck. But I'm getting it. It's that I don't feel comfortable. I think it's that I honestly like didn't feel comfortable with being uh, my culture.
yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
like like I don't know. It was always cooler to be whatever else, or I just didn't care about it too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can sit here and blame shit all I want, but I didn't really care that much too.
and and that's honest, man, and that's real because I didn't really fully begin to accept being able to say I'm from Fiji until like 4 or 5 years ago, man.
Really?
It hasn't been, yeah, it hasn't been like a long
What'd you
a
say
period of
before?
time.
I'm from here. I'm from Canada.
No, I never said I was from Canada. I would always just say that I'm just be stupid. I'm a human. I'm from Earth. That's
Right.
what would be the defining language. But over the past, probably the past 10 years, I've been doing like a lot of learning about who we are, what we come from. And probably I'd probably say about a solid 5 years ago, 2017, 18, where I really began to identify with what it means to be a Fijian person. So, and I know we're not the exception as well. I know there's a lot of people that feel this way and just don't know how to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally. I think also that is the other cool community builder about our podcast is because people are starting to. There's a lot of messages from people who say like, I was uncomfortable with being Indo-Fijian and now I'm not so much. I want to be specific here, but just because it's family related, but just my sister has set a bar and certain members of the family want to achieve that same bar, but there are patriarchs, aka their dads, who are saying no, they can, but you're not allowed to because you are my kid. And it's just like, bro, would you like? I don't know. It's like you can't take that away. Like, first of all, don't be a fucking patriarch or whatever. But second of all, like, how are you gonna tell them not to celebrate their own culture? You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, fuck that
And see,
noise. So
the thing is like, um, we're talking about Angeline here for people that know high phrase
yeah.
and no ties. She's a force, and I cannot imagine any young female, especially a young Fijian female, that would not want
Mm-hmm.
to aspire to have that kind of strength and that kind of like, I don't give a fuck what you say, I'm gonna get shit done type of attitude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why any man would feel like that's a threat or a bad thing. Like for me,
Yeah.
having a daughter who's 15 years old, coming into her own, learning about who she is, she looks at Angeline as like, yo, he's a boss. Like she uses words like
Mm-hmm.
that. She uses words that are like motivational. And I see that, I'm like, hell yeah. That's the kind of person you should try to be like in your life. Aim for the
Yeah.
highest mark and chase it and smash that shit. I think if you're a
Yeah.
dad and you're saying the opposite, man, shit, you got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's more specifically related to the physical, uh, the piercing.
Presentation.
Yeah, 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 yeah. My sister likes to look like a Girmitia. Like, and like that's what it honestly comes like. I don't know. I don't like to call I like to call a spade when I see it, man. I'm not here to really so I don't know, it's irritating to hear that kind of shit. And it's just like,
Yeah.
what? Man? Like, I don't know. Colonize minds. It's not a
Yeah,
skin color,
man.
like Miz said, man. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's hard for me to be mad at it too. That like, cause I was that too, still am too. Like, still unlearning or whatever, right? And Miz said
Mhm.
it's not a skin color; it's a state of mind, right? So
Facts.
like, there's a lot of subtleties that are not like in our immediate family and culture and this and that, and it's just like that are colonized ways of thinking,
Yeah.
subtle colonized ways of thinking, and it's just like it's like I don't know, it's like 50-50, a little bit of like white patriarchy embedded into the brown psyche with what you would call it, colonized thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a
Yeah.
dangerous mix because, like, in my family, we have similar dynamics. But the difference is in my family, all the cousins, we are all within like 10-year age difference from like the oldest to the youngest, all within like 10 years. And we all have each other's back. Like we all
Yeah.
ride for each other. Like if the parents are acting schmucky or stupid or fighting amongst themselves, it doesn't affect how we exist. Like, we make sure that we have like a running relationship all the time amongst all the cousins. So the parents don't have that effect on us anymore. But growing up, man, that shit's detrimental to you when you're a kid coming up, man.
Mm-hmm. 100%, man.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
don't get it.
totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Totally not what we were intending to talk about today.
No, that just
But
happened.
yeah, I think it's great though, because like I think those are like the realest kind of conversations, because that's the shit that's on your mind, but not necessarily immediately on your mind, that just needs to be said out loud, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So you're working on
Totally.
the comedy game still, putting some shit together?
Yeah. Haven't been up in a month, but I've been letting it marinate. Marinate. Yeah, there have
Yeah.
been mistakes that I've been making during really funny jokes to me that they're hilarious, and it's just like, why isn't that funny? Why aren't people laughing? And they're like, I'm starting to see where I'm starting to go wrong. I'm like setting it up, whatever. So I
Yeah.
think I've let it sit for long enough now. I mean, I've stayed away because of just circumstance, right? Been going on, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
with the family, this and that. Um, so I think I've had a little bit of a break. It's almost like when you go to high school and you're in grade 8 and you're just like, I don't know what anything is.
Overwhelmed.
And then you go away for summer break. And then you come back and you're just like in grade
Jack
9,
to
you're like,
shit.
oh yeah, I know what every fucking thing is. I know what that hallway is. I know where homeroom is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is where my locker used to be last year, and then you're the
Mm-hmm.
guy, and like now I feel like I'm kind of like I feel like I'm entering that sort of, I don't know. It's only been a month, whatever. But I mean,
Yeah,
I feel good about going up on Sunday. I'm going up
that's
Sunday.
awesome. Yeah,
Let's
and I think
talk
like
things.
I
nine
think
o'clock,
creativity.
be there, be square.
Yeah, because creativity like has to marinate. I think creativity has to, like, from whatever your first inception of the idea is, or the first inception of whatever that thinking is going to be, that turns into a bit, into a joke. It's got to marinate, because like for me, whenever I write rhymes, and the beat plays, the cadence, whatever is coming to me, happens almost immediately. So like the cadence forms immediately, the melody forms immediately. Now I just got to fit the words into the patterns that I'm thinking about, and it all comes together. It's like Lego. It's like there's a strategy to make it all work. But for comedy, none of that shit works. None of that shit works at all. I sit and I write and I write and I write and I write, and there's a joke. I'm like, okay. And I write and I write and I write and I write. Oh, there's another joke. But like, to get those jokes to become the center of the writing, as opposed to like all the peripheral stuff, that's the hard part for me.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I really have I'm just kind of inventing my way of learning. I know how I am with learning things, so I feel like I'm just kind of going with the flow on this one. I'm not
Yeah.
being all right, like this is the way you need to do it. Like if I
Mm-hmm.
do that, I'm gonna hate this shit and I won't keep doing it.
Yeah, you can't be
So
rigid. You can't be dogmatic. You can't force yourself into a
yeah,
way of thinking. I think anything that's creative has to feel good while you're doing it.
yeah, hundred
And if it
percent.
stops feeling good, then you shouldn't be doing it anymore. Like, there's
Yeah.
got to be a feel good in the creating process. Like, not everyone likes performing, right? Some people
Mhm.
hate getting on stage and doing the bit themselves, but they love creating the bit. They love putting it together. And then the performance part is something totally different. But are you enjoying the performance part of it?
Yeah, I think I will, and yeah. I think I will enjoy it a little bit more now too, but I think I always have, whether people laugh or not, except for a couple. I don't know. There's been a couple of times I found myself sweating, but most of the time, like I'm just like, yeah, I don't. I'm just comfortable. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. Plus, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like soul crushing too, in a good way. In a
Mhm.
good way, when you just say shit and it feels good to you, but nobody laughs or whatever. And then you just keep saying shit and like, I don't know, it's like a positive breaking you down. Like you almost like don't give a fuck after a certain point. You're just like, all right, like nobody laughed. I said the things. I don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Like, I can just say like whatever, and it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like
Dude,
after a point,
that's a
it's just
great place to
like,
get to, man.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know, like that's it's funny. One of the comedians said that one night. He said like these open mics are designed to like what break your will or some shit like
Yes.
that, or
Yes.
traumatize you or something like that, or
Mhm.
anyways. So I don't know. I kind of got to a point where like now I'm not like um sweating. I'm okay.
Less in your
And I
head.
think,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think the next times I go up, I'm gonna get more into the act of it all, I guess, instead of just like I don't know, you know, I don't know. You've seen me up there.
I think you're in an important place. Like what you're saying right now, I think you're really in
Yeah,
a really important place because like Tracy Morgan, right? I think Tracy Morgan's a great example.
yeah,
Like who he is, he's just like a really, just sort of like a really chill guy. But he knows when he's got to turn it on and become Tracy Morgan and like really
yeah,
go all out there.
yeah,
Like
yeah, 100%.
he becomes somebody different, right?
Yeah,
And I
totally,
think you're in a
right?
really good place right now trying to figure out what that character is because the writing is one thing, but you got to find a way to have a character deliver it to make that story take on a different life, right?
Yeah, I definitely have to like. I was thinking about like the craziness that used to be me, and like I have to
Ah,
find a way for the sober Ash to bring that like craziness that I used to be like that because like I don't know, man. Like there was that alcoholic drunk like there was a performer there too, and people gravitated and laughed at that guy. Like whenever I told jokes and shit like that, right? And just
yeah.
like at parties or whatever. So and like when I think about like who I am now, it's just like you need to harness that guy as sober you and like bring that guy back out like
Okay, so
somehow like
when you say
but
that, like,
don't do cocaine to bring him out like do something like I don't know like I don't know like
so when you
I
talk
feel
about
like
that guy, right? When you
I
talk
feel
about
like
that Ash, can
yeah
you can you see that Ash? Can you see him, what he is?
yeah totally
From a third
100%
person
100%
perspective, you can
yeah
look at him and be like, I know that guy.
yeah yeah 100% I often um see it in my head and I'm just like that's who you need to be like that's
So it's a
the
part of
guy
you. It's a part of who you are.
yeah
It's not like
hmm
you need it. It's not like you need the crutch to bring that guy out. That's just who you are.
it is
So
I also so for whatever reason I'm like too chill now too that's the like my
mm,
natural self
mm.
is less confrontational less killer instincty you know like
Yeah.
so yeah so I don't know it's like I gotta it's still there like
You're gonna
it's
have to do
just
some awkward stuff. You're gonna have to do um, some really awkward exercises with the mirror and creating this persona one on one with you and a mirror. And it's gonna feel awkward and it's gonna feel ridiculous. But I think if you see that person reflected back to you over and over again, I think that's how you'll be able to channel that shit.
yeah man
Because
yeah
it's all exercises, right? Like for me, what I think the person that's had the biggest impact on what I want to do on stage is George Carlin because like he takes these like really heavy, devastating subjects that nobody wants to talk about, and he creates this narrative around it that makes everybody that's watching him feel like I've never thought of it this way, even though everyone's thought of it this way. He makes you feel like I've never thought of it this way, and then
mm,
slams it in your face mixed with poetry and these crazy rap cadences. So like when I think about what I want to do on stage, I think that
right
it's
huh
fucking
interesting
hard, yo. Because
and
4 minutes, you can't really get out like a cohesive thought.
yeah that's the other thing Need more time.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be crazy, or can't do what you're like. I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
and I can relate to that, right? Like 4 minutes isn't long enough to do what I want to do, and same with
Yeah.
you. 4 minutes long enough to like,
Do meaty stuff.
yeah.
So we got to find a way to like craft quick hits, upside the head, but
Yeah,
within the same vein of what we're trying to, the message you're trying to get out. It's doable. It's doable. It's
yeah,
just work. It's just work.
yeah. It's yeah. I guess I have to do a bit of acting. Not really. I don't know. It's weird to say because I want to be genuine. I don't want to act, but I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
have to. I almost have to do method acting to retrieve the old Ash as sober Ash, and just yeah, I don't know. I have it in
Dude,
my head, like
Joey
it's
Diaz,
like
man. Joey Diaz
yeah,
is the best example of that.
yeah. That is kind of what like I mean by like his like he's kind of like got the same sort of deal, right? Like I think he's sober. He used to do a lot of fucked up shit, and he talks about it.
Lots.
He's crazy
Yeah.
about it. He yells
Yeah.
and he screams and he throws. That's like I always feel like that's who I am. Like I'm loud as shit. I can't be like, hey, yeah, I
Yeah.
identify as the she because
Well, I
I'm
see that.
like
Okay, I see that. But what I also see is, I told you this before. I also see like a Charlie Murphy vibe, like a Charlie Murphy
Charlie
dark,
Murphy.
like a dark seriousness. Hey, what up,
Yeah,
Jaren? Like a dark seriousness. That's funny because the
yeah,
stories you're telling are dark and serious, but you learn the funny about what that is, right?
yeah, totally. It'll be a long weekend too this weekend, so place will probably have some people there.
Be nice. It'll be nice, man. I got some shit I want to try out, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah, are you going? How's your comedy doing? Enough about mine. Amateur shit.
Yeah. I got some Hassan Minaj from the hood. Nice. Nice. Can you see the comments?
Mm, oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Jaren
Um,
tapped in. What up, homies? I see Hassan Minaj from the hood. What up, homie? Nice.
yeah, I
That's
see.
hilarious.
I'm starting to see where I can shorten a lot of the extensions before the joke and just give people more jokes in the setup as
Yeah.
opposed to because the thing is like obviously you want to try to be interesting with your setup, but at the same time people don't really give a fuck about your being interesting. They just want to laugh.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of like the short
Totally.
punchy humor in the open mic spots works better. Like that
Yeah.
dude, like that Aziz Ansari. You. Eh, that dude. I think we just lost. Did we just lose Ash? Hold up, y'all. I think we just lost Ash. Give me one sec. What's a good, Jaren? Give me one sec. I'll be right back. Yeah. How's the East Coast treating you, man? See you doing a lot of shows and stuff. It's dope to see. We were just talking about developing better open mic skills and tactics and abilities, and how that's all going to play out because of the 4 minute limit.
The leave button is right next to the chat button.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's what
sorry,
it
sorry about
is.
that. I'm sorry about
Yeah,
that. It's
it's all
like
good.
chat and leave, and my fat fingers are hitting the leave button. What up, Jared? Yo, hook me up
Smart.
with, hook me up, hook me up with your agent and shit. I need an
Yeah, man.
agent.
It'd be fun to have you back out west, man. Get
Yeah,
some more
man.
stuff popping.
Yeah, shit. And
Yeah, dude, the practice is important, man. The practice is really important. I think shows where you can gauge if your material has 3 to 5 seconds. Yeah, I know, word. I think the open mics are really important because we need to feel all those uncomfortable, silent situations. Like I've been spoiled doing music for a lot of years and getting like instant gratification and like going to the crowd and be like, yo, when I say hip, you say hop, and the crowd's like just ready to yell and scream everything you say. They're just like waiting on every word, right?
Yeah.
But in comedy, you can't do none of that shit. None of it. If you don't come out the gate smoking with something people are going to be interested in, you just lost 3 minutes and 50 seconds to silent stares.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
You can't be going up there and talking about art battle or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
We've seen some
But
shit. We've
yeah,
seen some shit.
yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. It's like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this on purpose right now? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? It's like this is 4 minutes only.
Yeah.
Why are you sucking on purpose?
Like that one dude that's just silent
Yeah.
and does nothing but looks at the
You
crowd like a
don't like
weirdo.
that guy. You don't like that guy.
So annoying. Okay, like uh, here's the example that was set for me. Okay, so Jaren, if you're still watching, seeing Jaren do open mics, I was like, holy shit, this guy's got joke after joke after joke after joke, and all different premises. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, so that's what we got to work towards. Is like being able to do a line of jokes. None of them are from the same bit. And I was like, seeing him do it, I was like, oh damn. Actually, seeing him
Yeah.
do it made me feel like I couldn't do it with the show that I saw him at. And then seeing the next 6 comics, I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Jared's the exception. Everybody else sucks.
Yeah.
So, okay, I can start at the suck side. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he's a professional for sure.
Yeah,
That guy's
definitely.
got jokes. That guy's got jokes. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to trying some. We're trying to get better and trying to fucking do some more shit too. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I guess I gotta be a little proactive and message some of these comedy groups or whatever on Instagram, but
Yeah,
need to be getting up more than just once a week for sure.
100%.
Need
100%.
to really dive in
Yeah.
with no life jacket here.
Well, the thing is, like, for me right now, I'm going through like a whole host of changes over the next couple of months. Like, I just sold my
Yeah,
home.
yeah,
Me and my ex are getting 2 separate places. So there's like a lot of changes happening, like in my immediate vicinity right now. So once that's complete, I'll be going out multiple nights a week. So I think it's good to have like somebody to throw stuff off of as well. So I'll let you know, man, if you're down to come out
yeah.
to some
Hell
of the
yeah,
other ones. We'll just keep it as a rotation and just keep building.
yeah. And if there's anybody watching right now, need somebody to come on. I have very unclean humor.
Dude, man, we could create like
Not
a
PG-13, okay?
we just gotta start building with more Fijian comics. We could have like our own thing popping off, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Yo,
yeah.
thanks, Darren. So what I did want to talk about prior to the other 8 conversations was what's been happening in MMA recently, namely 3 specific fights that I want to talk about. Starting with 3 weeks ago now, I think maybe 4 weeks ago, Dominic Cruz and Chito Vera.
Yeah, that was I mean, I pretty much called that one. I don't know really why Dominic Cruz is continuing to do this to himself. Um, I mean, I feel tired just saying this, but like the guy has an unsustainable style and it gets him injured a lot, and he's been injured a lot, and it's just too old school and it doesn't belong in this generation's MMA. Dude, he left himself real wide open there, enough to drive a truck right through that.
Unprotected.
Yeah, man.
Completely.
And he does a lot of his hands down ducking, and it just doesn't belong anymore. He's not
So
that guy.
what did you think leading up to, so prior to the knockout, prior to the nose breaking knockout,
Yeah.
didn't you think he looked good?
Ah, I don't think he looked good enough. I don't think he looked good enough to compete at the highest levels anymore. I think Honestly, I think it was just a whole lot of him having to fight the right guy and getting a little bit lucky, man. Because sooner or later, you're gonna run into a mountain and you can't, and you're not like, fuck, what's a good example here? Like, I don't know, the whole Sage North cut thing, maybe.
Right.
Like, you had him set up and
To
he
beat
lost.
Connor.
Yeah, yeah, and like, it didn't work out, right? I don't know. He just can't. He
So
just can't. He's from that old school.
you don't see any title runs in Dominic Cruz's future.
No, and if he does, then I'm very wrong about that. But I just don't see it happening. He's
See,
older. He's
yeah,
older. He's from the freaking WEC days, for crying out loud.
yeah,
That guy, like, if anybody like knows, it hurts to watch him fight physically. Like, my knees hurt watching him fight because I'd seen how he fought in WEC, and that was just this explosive style that was
Mhm.
swarming. And like, he hurt the other guy and he put himself in harm's way. And he was young, he could do that, but he paid the
Mhm.
price when he
Yeah.
took so much time out with his knee injuries and stuff,
Mhm.
right? Like, the older you get, I feel like the in MMA at a certain age, 1 year older is like 1 year older in age, but physically is 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know, 2 years back, like two
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
2 years older, even like
Years the decline. Yeah.
yeah, 2 years of deterioration almost.
Mhm.
Like I just
Mhm.
feel like guys like Dominic Cruz doesn't owe us a fucking thing anymore. And now it's just at this point, like, he wants to compete. It's ego. Rafael dos Anjos did the smart thing. He was just like, I obviously can't make any title runs anymore, but I'm still a fighter. I like fighting, and I would like to just put on exciting fights. Like,
Give
that's
me
a
some
Dominic.
legends and let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, Dominic Cruz can probably do that, but title runs, no, man. We just saw
I'm not
what
gonna lie.
happened.
I'm not gonna lie. First round starts. See him popping, moving, rushing in, rushing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of looks crisp, kind of looks good. Second round, doing the same thing. Got a bit of heavy sweat going on. Mouth's open a little bit. I'm like, okay, still moving, still looks good. But man, once Cheeto caught him a couple times with the right hook, because he kept dipping, caught him a couple times, you could start to see the
Mhm.
movement slowing down. I'm like, shit. Go to the wrestling. Go to the wrestling. Doesn't go to the wrestling. Keeps like I think if he went to the wrestling, he could have kind of grinded out more time until Cheeto caught him. But dude, that knockout, man, he lifted him off his feet.
Yeah, he turned his nose sideways there for sure. I like literally
And
side watched that in slow motion. But yeah, also I think he's a little bit undersized now too.
he
That
is for sure.
yeah, like, he's older, right? And you atrophy as you get older. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not saying he's like atrophied a whole lot, but like,
Sure.
I don't know. I'm getting older. I'm seeing it happening in myself all the time. But like, um, guys are bigger and they're cutting down. And it's not like before. Like, guys can be bigger and cut down more and do it healthier.
Scientifically, yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
so I feel like he's at a disadvantage there. Like, I don't know. We might see him retire. I
Yeah, we
I
might see
feel like he
retire.
just should. I feel
He
like he
could he
should.
could get a fat contract from Bellator and decide to throw out a couple fights in Bellator.
He could, but he would lose his broadcasting gig. He's got a good thing going here
Yeah,
with the UFC. He's always
facts.
been under the Zuffa banner. It would be
Yeah,
weird to see him
facts.
go there. He's a fan. I mean, I don't dislike the guy at all.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, as a broadcaster, I actually think that when him and DC are having their little barbs and jabs with each other there, that's actually really
Love
good
it.
because
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty. I find it pretty funny. You got two fighters, and when he's having his jabs at Michael Bisping too, yeah, he's a knowledgeable guy. We need him around in the sport. We need him.
Great representative. Yeah.
Yeah, but we need his nose to not be sideways. We need him to remember people's names and shit. I don't know if he's there yet, certainly at the nose sideways part, but he can't be fucking. Also, you know what? You can't be broadcasting and you can't be fighting at the same time. You
Yeah.
got to be doing one thing at a time, man. This is
Full
not a
time.
sport where you can't be like, okay, right now, what did George St. Pierre say? He said, you're either a fighter or a martial artist, and one is an athlete and one is just doing training whenever they have a fight, right?
Yeah.
And you gotta, like, if you're in this and you want to be high level and making title runs, then you should probably give up the commentating booth.
Yeah.
I don't
Facts.
think you can really be doing both, you
Yeah.
you suffer in the training. You're spending time doing this, that, and the other thing. I
Press
don't
and
know what
travel
it
and
would
TV
take.
spots and
Yeah, I don't know what it takes to be that guy, but I can only speculate and say that it probably takes a significant chunk of time away from
100%.
training. Yeah,
100%. So
totally.
Dominator, just stay in the booth, man. Entertain us with your commentary. I don't want to see him be a gatekeeper. I think he's too
No,
elite. I think he's too elite of a fighter to ever be a
yeah,
gatekeeper. If he's not
absolutely.
fighting guys in the top 10, he shouldn't be fighting. Like
He
you,
said
I
that
don't want to
himself
see him
too.
get thrown to a wolf and just get murked.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it could
So
happen now too, right?
big
Like
time.
we're seeing the changing of the guard for the last little
Mhm.
while. He was one of those last guys, Donald Cerrone was one of those WBC guys who just um retired, and
Carlos Condit, another one.
yeah, Rory McDonald, not that he was a WBC guy, but he's been
Mhm.
around for a little while. He just retired
Just
too,
retired.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's no shame in calling it. There's absolutely none at all. You don't
Honestly,
know.
though, man, being around fighters and having the opportunity to train with some bad motherfuckers, man, I get it. I get what they feel, man, because they get so like fighting just becomes such a huge part of their existence, and it ends up meaning more to them than any other accomplishment that they can have. Like I have a
Mhm,
homie that's a Hollywood stuntman. He makes great money doing stunts and pretty much every Marvel movie, all the DC
mhm.
movies, all the show. He's just always being killed or thrown around. Does well, but a part of him, he fought for a lot of years, and his last fight was a title fight against Brandon Vera on ONE FC,
Mhm.
and it wasn't a good outcome because he took it on 3 days. And I mean, you're fighting Brandon Vera on 3 days, bad idea. Can't commit full
Mhm.
time to it. But even though fighting means more to fighters than any other thing that they can achieve, man, it's just what they are.
Yeah, the will is the last thing to go. The will and the pride. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it lots of times.
Mm-hmm.
Henderson, man, that
I think
was
BJ. I think
Randy
BJ Penn is the
Couture.
worst. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Henderson, Randy Couture, BJ Penn. To a lesser extent, I mean, even Sam Alvey, he just set the
Oh
record
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
longest ever losing streak in the UFC. I don't know if that was because he was like too over the hill. I think it's just because, I mean, it could be a combination of that and also just
He's being
he
fed
might
to
be a little
lions.
lower. Like, he was a high level Bellator guy,
Yeah.
and he's a
He's
mid
always
to
been
low.
a fan favorite, and
Yeah, I
he
like
likes
him.
to bang and stuff. But
Yeah, I
dude, like
like him. Win
his
or lose,
last
Yeah,
4 or 5 fights, man, he's taken some really bad damage.
significant. Yes, quite
Yeah.
significant. Yeah, for
Not
sure.
good.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah,
don't like
man.
that.
No, not at all. That's pretty nasty stuff for sure.
And then we had, um, moving forward a little bit, probably the most unpredictable Hail Mary knockout victory since Anderson Silva's triangle choke on Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't see that coming. That's for sure. I
Dude,
didn't
his
see
corner
that
was
coming.
yelling. His corner was screaming at him. Where
Yeah,
are you? What are you doing? Get in the
yeah.
fight.
Yeah, I actually was kind of super surprised right at the beginning in the first round. He was the first guy to take him down. But
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, he's kind of made a statement there, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say I was ever thinking that that was gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fake, and then hiding his kick behind that fake.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, and he got him when he was moving, right? And he was got him when he was trying to get away from that
Hmm.
fake left or whatever, and hit him with
Dude, they
that.
drilled the shit out of that.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty crazy. He was on track to win that fight too, Kamaru Usman,
For
like I
sure. For
believe. Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So, and you know, that was pretty crazy. I'm happy for Leon Edwards, that's for sure. And also I like seeing, you know, on one hand, I'm just like kind of like, fuck, man, nobody's gonna beat this Anderson Silva record.
Yeah.
How long did that take Kamaru Usman? That took a long time.
Yeah.
Now Leon Edwards is the next guy to potentially reach that. Like, is anybody ever gonna beat that record? Is that record
Nah.
always gonna be there? Like Anderson Silva. You know, it would have been cool to see a new gen fighter who you can really hang your hat on and say this guy really is the best in the
Do you think
world.
there's anybody right now? Anybody right now you can think of? Because I can only think of one. But anybody you can think of?
I mean, nah. I mean, one, but I mean, I don't know who he is or what he's doing. To me, he's just a Twitter like John Jones would be the next only other
That's
person,
the only
right?
one I was
But
gonna say.
yeah, but who is he and what is he doing? I don't fucking
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
looks
so
massive right now. He's a heavyweight now. He looks huge. Even his
I'll
skinny ass legs look big.
yeah,
And
I'm purposely just like ignoring all that shit because that guy's been talking about whatever he's been wanting to do for so
yeah,
long now. Like I swear to God, we were here having the same conversation last July. We
probably.
were talking, yeah, last
Yeah.
July we were talking about like how me and my buddy, I remember me and Riaz, and we were talking about like, and he was talking about how he's coming back and blah blah blah, and contract negotiations, and then Dana won't pay me, and then it became like, who knows what he's fucking doing now? Like, I don't know, man. As far as John Jones is concerned, like until he's walking to the cage, I don't fucking believe anything. But yeah, man. What's his record at right now? He's only ever really lost to
Matt Hamill,
Matt Hamill for that
the
illegal
DQ,
strike, and
the no contest to DC.
yeah, for the drugs, right? Was it for the
Yeah.
drugs? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that yeah. See, to me also to be in this like best in the world number one, you can't be fucking
Tainted.
tainted. Yeah, and like I don't know, like see, he's a good guy. I mean, he's an addict. I can't really like he's one of me. I'm cut from the same cloth, right? So but
Yeah.
he's whenever he says shit and starts talking, I'm just like, man, you fucking I know you can't bullshit a bullshitter, homie. Like fuck you.
Yeah.
Like you're
Dude,
lying to me
you know what
right
it is?
now, and I can't
You
take whatever he says seriously. If he says he's clean, I don't know if he is.
know,
And there's you know it's hard. Kamaru
Mhm.
Usman was a guy, no steroids, no fucking arrests. Like you know,
Family
good guy,
man.
come from
Hmm.
behind story, right?
Hmm.
You know, like he was the guy, and he got KO'd by an equally like another cool guy. You know, same kind
Yeah.
of with
People just
first
don't like
number.
Leon Edwards because he's British. That's what it is.
Yeah, he's
But,
a well, he's what a Jamaican-born fighter. No, what's his deal?
I don't know, but I know he spent a lot of time growing up in England for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure what his. I don't know if he was born where he was born, but yeah,
It's that British accent, yo.
he's taking that shit back to. I don't know actually. Manchester. I
I
can't
think so.
remember.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
think so.
yeah, that's crazy. Another UK champion. So we've had Michael Bisping and
Yeah.
uh, Conor McGregor. I mean, like a UK champion,
UK.
like
Yeah.
England, not Ireland. But
Not just
no
England.
offense, no offense to the Irish people. But like, yeah, that's kind of cool actually to me because it never really goes there.
Well,
So it's
I think
kind of
what's
cool
really
that you don't have to go across the pond to get the best training to be a world champion. You know what I mean? It can
yes.
happen. It can happen in some fucking weird ass, not weird ass, but some fucking pinner ass gym in New Zealand in some tiny ass island somewhere. A couple of guys can become champion from there. And
Funny how you said New
why can't?
Zealand because Tai Tuivasa called out John Jones and said he wants to fight him. Said he thinks John is a great fighter, but he also said John's a dickhead and he would love to fight John Jones. The rumored fight that's supposed to be made is John Jones against Stipe Miocic. That's the rumored, almost signed contract fight for John Jones as his return to the cage. I
Yeah,
love that fight.
who'd you like to see him fight? Like if
Francis
so,
Ngannou.
you know,
Francis
if
Ngannou.
what? Oh,
Hands down.
you want to see him just go for the title shot right away? You don't even want to.
Yes. Yes. Because
Right.
he never lost the title. Hold on
Yeah.
one sec. Hold on one quick sec. I'm going to see if this works right now. One sec. It's not going to work. Hold on one sec. Sorry, man. Give me one sec.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, yeah. I want to see him fight Francis Ngannou and see what he's really made of. Throw him in with the beast and see if
Yeah.
Francis can take his head off.
Yeah.
It'd be great to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. There's like a double-edged sword with both of those fights too, right? Because it's like if you put him up against Stipe and he loses, uh, then that looks
Ooh.
really bad, right? But if he wins, it's just like, oh shit, okay, he
It's
earned his
expected.
like, yeah, he's his real deal. He looks
Yeah.
good. Let's say he goes up against Ngannou and just like also, it looks bad. You almost have to have the one fight to see how he does, but at the same time, it's just like, what are we fucking waiting for, man? He says he's been trash talking the guy on Twitter, that obviously, I mean, to me, it's like, bro, you're jealous because you're not where he's at right now. You're the
None of the conversation. None of the
yeah, you're
conversation.
sitting over there, not in the rankings, not in the title picture, not even in anybody's mind, really. To me, he's a
Nah.
retired fighter. I don't even,
Because
but
so many different fights have fell through. Fighters are just like,
yeah,
fuck it, what's the point? It's like
yeah,
preparing for Conor McGregor. You never know when he's gonna come back. You hope he
yeah,
might come back. It's kind of like, meh,
yeah, yeah.
out of
So,
sight, out of mind.
yeah, we need to see this buffer, but it'd be cool to just see them fight for the title. I
Yeah.
really, really want to see what he looks like on fight day, just because, like, seeing the Twitter pictures, it's one thing, and then,
Mm-hmm.
just I want to see what he looks on the day of. Like, I'm very interested to see what heavyweight John Jones looks like and see what he can
Yes.
do. I'm intrigued as shit. It was always a thing that was talked about, like back when he was 23 and he first won the
Mm-hmm.
title. It was
Mm-hmm.
talked about. So it's been like 10 years in
10
the
years.
making, this whole
Yeah.
thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it'd be finally cool to see what he does, how he does it, if he even can handle
Ever does it.
new weight class. Like, let's see if he can handle the piss tests. That would be another really awesome thing that he could do. Make sure he passes that USADA shit.
No more
Right.
picograms allowed.
No more
Okay, so give me two
picograms.
predictions. Two predictions. Who wins in the third fight against Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards? And who wins against John Jones and Stipe Miocic?
Oh, dude, I think Kamaru Usman beats Leon Edwards.
Same.
Um, he's made the adjustments for sure. There's no way he hasn't. He's
Yeah.
high caliber, world class champion.
Yep.
Um, if like, is this a rematch that's happening?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're gonna have a rubber match. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, then in that case, I think Kamaru. So logical MMA analyst Ash, who's crunching the numbers as is right now, says Kamaru Usman beats Leon
Yes.
Edwards, and I think he'll be beating Leon Edwards in a very grinding. Like he's gonna stop him. I think he's gonna stop him, but he's gonna make him suffer for a little bit before he stops him because I think
Give him a
he's
nightmare, real
yeah.
nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna make it a nightmare. I think he's gonna do that. I think he's a little upset that happened to him. There's no way he's not. I was upset for him. His fucking
Yeah.
dude, yeah, like there's a lot now that he can't, he can't show up to the premiere of that Black Panther movie wearing his title belt no more. So
He got memed,
that
man. He got a meme face.
yeah. So I'm almost positive he's going to kill Leon Edwards. That's analyst Ash. Now the fan in me is saying I really hope Leon Edwards is like,
Ah,
yeah, I
okay.
really hope like, you know, this is the first time. Can't think about it this way. This is the first time that I can remember anyways that two black guys are like
Buffered
one's
for 1 sec. Hold on, you buffered. You buffered for what you said. This is the
okay.
first time
Yeah, so
to.
this is the first time you got two black guys who were on a win streak higher than 10 plus,
Yeah.
okay, fighting in a main event for a title. Both have very like from the bricks cities
Yeah.
or stories, sorry. Like nothing came even remotely easy for either guy.
Yeah.
Like
For
I
sure.
don't know. Like it's hard to say that we lost at like, BIPOC Nation didn't lose in that fight. We saw some pretty amazing shit going down, and
Yes.
like, so what if Kamaru Usman lost? Like it doesn't change who he is or anything like that,
Right.
or his
Yeah.
story or his inspirational like rise or anything like that.
Mhm.
Like now we got another story that's again, like it's been happening for a while, it's the title is on him, so now like he's gonna get the spotlight of it. So like, it's cool now that we're seeing another, story that other people can draw from, right? Like
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know, as as far as I'm concerned, as long as it's the title is in the hands of people who got that story. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always find that lately it's just been so cut and dry. I just it's been lacking in the not. I remember how much I loved this shit before, and I remember
Mm.
how
Mm.
being fired up I would be like
Yeah.
watching the countdown episodes, like almost like in tears myself, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Because it was also new to me. So this kind of thing kind of puts me back in that whole like I'm a fan again, like a pure fan again, who's like seeing like it's going back to fucking the UK with a black guy who's got a story
Hmm.
and a place where he shouldn't have the title. Like,
Success.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
not supposed to. Neither guy was ever supposed to be in that fight, and
Yeah.
both of them were. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I
Yeah.
think it's a big difference for us as well because we relate to fighters like that have come from the grind. And for me, like that's why I was when Connor first came into the UFC, I was a huge fan of the guy, man, because like he literally came from nothing and was
Mhm.
phenomenal and just knocking people's heads off with ease. And now he creates this character that's so easily hateable. So many of the new breed of fighters start to look at Connor and be like, "Yo, that's the paycheck. That's how I got to
Yeah.
get there." And they
Yeah.
alienate large groups of fans, people like us that are like, yo, like where are the real humans out here that
Yeah.
aren't trying to be the
Where?
Paddy Pimblets
Yeah.
and guys, right?
Yeah, so where the Rockies, like they call him
Yes.
Rocky and they were screaming Rocky, and like
Yeah,
honestly, like
yeah.
it's true. Like I don't really give a shit about the Sean O'Malley's, the Conor McGregor's. I do like Paddy Pimblett though, just because of how his teabag when he's just like, I'm gonna
Oh,
teabag
that
him.
was
That whole thing,
crazy.
the way he said it, like had me pissing. Just so, anyways, but yeah, there's a lot of guys and attitudes we can do without, right? And I feel like that's the thing we see all the time because it pays.
Facts.
It pays, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. We don't need it. We don't need it. We need we need good people watching this sport so we can keep this sport legitimizing it more.
Yes.
I don't know if the Conor McGregors are gonna help get this thing into the Olympics. I really don't.
No,
I
it's
mean,
gonna create
popularity
more
wise,
sensationalism and
yeah,
potential
yeah, yeah, yeah,
chaos,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
not good for the sport at all.
yeah. We need the guys with
I mean, it is
the
for the entertainment portion of it. People will still want to be
yeah,
entertained, but there's got to be a line.
yeah, yeah. Like we need the adversity stories and the equality stories. So we need the Amanda Nunes's and the Kamaru Usmans and the
Francis
Francis
Ngannou's, yeah,
Ngannou's,
yeah.
yeah, and like
Mhm.
whoever else. Um, I don't know. I'm missing names right now for sure,
Oh,
but
there's lots of these dudes
yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of like marginalized. You know, not even like just even if you're a white guy who fucking just has like some
grind.
like
Yeah,
you came from sewage story, like like that's the kind of shit I want to hear. I don't want to like
100%.
not in yeah.
Inspiring, man. Which
Hmm.
which leads us to like the most to one of the most genuine human beings that I think presents for mixed martial arts in a way that, man, like you could not create a more iconic character for an ambassador for MMA other than Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah,
Dude, the guy doesn't even cuss.
that
He's
doesn't even cause.
clean cut, never had any scandals, doesn't have any issues, consummate athlete, dominates every win. Had a couple of stumbles in 1FC since he's moved to 1FC, but man, this past weekend,
Yeah,
woof,
he certainly came and made good on his. See, that's what I mean by making the adjustments.
yeah,
He got beat by him. So the first time he got beat by a move that he's never encountered in North America because it's an illegal
yeah,
move. It's not allowed to knee a grounded opponent. So you know,
yeah.
not that like I'm not gonna put an asterisk next to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you knew where you were fighting. No, the rules should have been prepared for it. But again, like
Facts.
a little bit of cutting the guy slack. He ate a knee to the face that he wasn't.
Brutal.
Around here he wouldn't be expecting
Yeah,
that shit.
facts.
So
Mhm.
you train your whole life to fight a certain way, and now you're fighting somewhere else with new rules, and then you get nailed with the knee that you. So he made the adjustment
Mhm.
because I feel like there was a couple of moments where it could have happened again, and he was
Yeah.
prepared for said moments. So,
Mhm.
yeah, Demetrius Johnson, skilled in a lot of like, what do you call it? High IQ fighter,
Yes.
right? He made the adjustments, right? Um, which is like going back to the Kamaru Usman thing. Like,
Mhm.
that's why I said that because we watched that shit with DJ. I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Mhm.
Pretty awesome, actually. Pretty excited to be able to get one FC fights on Amazon Prime now.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he made the adjustments, and it was fucking amazing to see because I watched the first fight,
Yeah.
and seeing that I was just like, damn, dude, like you're smart. Like you haven't like you haven't started sucking. Like you still are. You're still up there. You might have lost the
Yeah.
fight, but you've made the change, and now you got your title back, and it's business as usual, right? I
I
think
think
that's
what's
what's
great
going
about
to happen
I think
with
what
Kamaru.
Yeah, and I think
actually.
what's great about DJ and the same with Kamaru is they haven't taken a lot of damage in their career. Like he rarely gets clipped, rarely gets stunned or hurt or dropped. He doesn't really get put in compromising situations. Same with Kamaru Usman. Like Kamaru's probably been tagged a little more because he's fought a few more savages, but for the most part, DJ doesn't really get touched, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
the thing that I really like, man, was like the brutality of the finish. He was not making any mistakes. He
yeah,
wanted to be precise and end it.
yeah,
And that was something that I haven't seen in a few fights from him. So that was like, yes.
yeah, totally. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Um, what's his name? Is probably feeling pretty stupid for having that painting on his wall now. But I mean, like that was a hell of a thing to do. I mean,
You don't want to
getting
give
that
dudes like that.
thing
You don't want to
painted.
give killers motivation, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was just like, you got that thing painted on his wall, man. Your wall, like you giving him that knee. Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, but and like before the fight started, I was just like, what if you lose? You have that in your gym, bro. Your
Mm-hmm.
peers are gonna see that all. Like the ego is very
Yeah,
on
he
display,
definitely
you know?
overcommitted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when guys do that ego thing, that's when I'm just like, you're not meant to be a champion. You're not meant to be. I don't know. Like they've just like, I'm gonna get this fucking moment tattooed on my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck,
Mm-hmm.
man. Like you're
As
just
as
gonna
great
lose.
as great as a champion is, I think every great champion understands how fleeting the experience is,
Yeah,
and it reflects in the way they speak about the championships, like Jose Aldo and George St. Pierre, and all. I think all the really great champs that have like really long runs as champions know the value of it and treat it as such. And then there's
yeah,
guys like Conor McGregor that acts like he's gonna be champ for his whole career, and
yeah,
never defends the title even once.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally. There's what should we call it? I can't remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, it can be taken away from you at any time.
Big
Or
time.
right, it shouldn't change anything, right? Just because you're champion, like it does mean something and it does change things. It
Mm-hmm.
does put a target on your back, etc., etc. But
Yeah.
don't be counting all your money before you're fucking even paid yet. You know what I mean? That's the way I see a lot of this. They become champions and they're just like, I'm the fucking best. You haven't defended your title one time yet.
If
Like,
anything, training should
yeah,
get tighter. The skill set should be cleaner. The work
yeah,
ethic should be a little more demanding because now you want to make sure nobody gets to your level. And I think MMA is one of those sports. Is like fighters reach this peak, this pinnacle. They establish this excellence, and then other fighters are evolving underneath them. And when the champs stop evolving, they end up getting Ronda Rousey and humiliated because everybody
totally.
catches up. And they catch up and they get way better, and you don't get better because you stopped at the champ.
That's a totally true statement.
Yeah.
Totally true. 100% agree with that. Yeah, that pretty much is her story, isn't it? Right there.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
so for people that are watching. Shout out to Jaren for coming in and dropping some comments.
Yeah.
This say it again.
Said yeah.
Yeah. For those of you watching this Sunday night, 12 Kings will be there doing some open mic live with a whole bunch of other comics from the city. Get there at 9 p.m. They got cheap drinks, they got cheap food, you got good company, they got a pool table, and some other weird stuff that they always tell us to do. I don't know what it's called. They have that weird game that they always play at the 12 Kings.
They do.
Yeah, that thing you pull them, these pull
Oh, the
things.
pull tabs.
Pull
Right.
tabs. Pull
Yeah,
tab.
pull tabs. If there's anybody addicted to gambling, they
Come
got
to
pull
12
tabs.
Kings and get your pull tab on.
Yeah, get your pull
So
tab on.
for the
Oh
high
my
praise
god.
audience, let people know where they can find you on social media, man.
Oh, they can find me. My personal account is at Ashneil Prakash on Instagram. Our podcast account is at No Ties Pod. What the hell is it? Sorry. At No Ties 1879 podcast. Oh my goodness. I swear I work there. I swear I work there. But yeah, you can holler at
And then
us
you,
anytime. Be sure the link to our podcast is on there on our solo link too. So if anybody is interested in listening to us talk about stuff, definitely hit us up on there. Add us,
oh,
do all the things.
we'll
Yeah.
make sure we leave a bunch of links in the comments. You can find me at it's elite its_ALITE and all social media platforms. Of course, this is the High Faith Podcast. Thanks a lot for jumping in, man. Dope episode.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, man. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
It was fun.
Great night, guys.
All
Peace.
right. Peace out. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah.